Hi, good morning, everyone. Happy Thursday. It's Thursday, June 18th, 2026, and it's about, I think by now it's like almost 9 a.m. here in Chicago. I jumped in my car to make a call real quick before I go back to work. But, what was I gonna say? Bill Haney, I think, all of that mentioning of Keyshawn, I think it's going to backfire on him and Devin because I think it's becoming more and more apparent that they never wanted to fight. Now, remember, when Keyshawn fought Ortiz, what did Keyshawn say right after he defeated Ortiz? He said that, Bill had reached out to him and they had a verbal agreement about fighting, Devin and Keyshawn, that is. So think about it. That was a very, very clever way of Bill Haney to get his name mentioned after a big fight. And remember, that was a Shakur versus Tio fight. But before that was Keyshawn versus Ortiz. And Keyshawn, again, he said that Bill Haney reached out to him. Very good marketing on Bill Haney's part. He got Keyshawn to mention his name and mention that they wanted a fight. So there's one instance of them wanting to fight Keyshawn. Then the other one was, of course, Devin Haney's famous tweet. I'll take little brother, then big brother, Bill, big brother, then little brother. So my point is, Keyshawn's name has been good enough for clout. They built some really good momentum behind Keyshawn's name. Nobody made them do that. Nobody begged them to do that. But now that a fight is very possible, and as a matter of fact, it's mandated, now they don't seem to want the fight. So they were using him. They never wanted to fight him. They were using him. And don't let a lot of these fans fool you. A fight versus Keyshawn Davis does an awful lot for Haney's resume because Keyshawn is undefeated. He's a very, very skilled boxer. A lot of people see him being like a really big name as soon as he gets, more and more fights under his belt. So his name was good enough for them to clout chase off of, but now they want to act like he's a nobody, And no, Keyshawn's not going out like that. And I don't understand what kind of fan would have a problem with what Keyshawn is doing. Keyshawn wants to make sure his WBO mandatory versus Devin Haney gets activated and put into operation, basically. And people have a problem with that. So you guys knew Devin Haney was clout chasing. Is that it? And you're mad that Keyshawn is like, no, we're about to fight, And even when, people are addressing Shakur not responding to the 144 pound deal that he agreed to. He did agree to it. But the fact that he's not responding right away, people have a lot to say about it. There's been a whole lot of talk about it. But now that people are, kind of over it and they're like, well, you got Keyshawn right here. You said you'll fight him, little brother, then big brother. You got one of them right here. He's your WBO mandatory. It's like they don't want to segue into the Keyshawn fight. They want to keep the topic on Shakur because that's all Haney fans know how to do. Is talk about who's ducking and who's this and who don't want the smoke. And they're doing it right while someone's right there wanting the smoke, right? They're talking about Devin Haney calling out Shakur's bluff, but they don't want to admit that Keyshawn is calling out Devin Haney, and Devin Haney doesn't seem to want it. Now, I know he mentioned Keyshawn just the other day, like he tweeted out Keyshawn or something, but his father's energy is totally different. His father's only speaking what I'm sure his son is agreeing to. So why is his father's energy totally different? So it got a lot of people who don't have an agenda to push with their antennas up. Like, what's going on? Why doesn't this dude want to fight Keyshawn? I mean, I know why. He knows Keyshawn is damn good. And he knows Keyshawn has very respectable power that he might have to worry about. That's why. But, you know, you let the Haney fans tell it. He has nothing to offer all of a sudden. I think you guys are making yourself look bad by trying to play that game. Because at this point, even people who ride with you, they're thinking, okay, you're full of shit, but you're still my boy. You know, you're full of shit, but I'm still going to support your channel. Which I totally get it. But for people who thought that you wouldn't, like, deflect like this or be a hypocrite like this, it's not a good look. Because, again, everybody's still going to ride with you who has been riding with you. But they're not going to say it, but they see that you're not really 100%. You're really just saying what you think will keep the masses around you. And at some point, your fans got to be thinking, well, wait, does he think I'm a fucking dummy? Or is he just playing the game? I hope he don't think I believe this shit. You know, it's just keep it real with your followers. If you try to act like all of a sudden Keyshawn is a nobody, but whenever Devin's yelling his name, you're yelling his name, something ain't adding up. Like, what's up? Why isn't Bill Haney acting like he wants to fight? And listen to Just Do's more recent coverage on that and Everything Boxing, because I feel like they break it down in more depth, you know, what's going on. But yeah, Bill Haney, like, if you want to push only a certain narrative and you want to use Keyshawn's name without ever fighting him, be more selective about these channels you jump on. You know, you better stick to the guys who aren't going to challenge you and just let you say whatever you want and then double up on what you said, and they know good and damn well it don't really make no sense. You know, you better stick to those channels, because I see now that, you know, he's fucking with channels that are going to ask questions, and then he suddenly got to go. You know what I mean? But one thing I did notice about Bill Haney, though, he seems like a really nice guy. He just wants the best for his son, but you ain't got to lie so much, you know? And what the fuck is that? Oh, a squirrel. A squirrel coming up out of a hole. But you ain't got to lie so much, you know? He seems like a really nice guy. And I heard, oh no, that's a bird. I heard that he used to be a pimp, but I don't know if I buy that. I can't picture him like slapping bitches. I don't know. I can't picture him. Like, I can see, well, I guess I can see him giving them an assignment, maybe. But I can't picture him slapping them. I don't know. But anyway, back to boxing, sorry. Yeah. Something's up with him not wanting that smoke, but that's what you get for clout chasing his name so much. You clout chased Keyshawn's name a lot. So stop having your people who say whatever you want them to say. Stop having them now try and act like Keyshawn is of no value. He was value when you was clout chasing his name. And there ain't a lot of Keyshawns walking around. So you were talking about Keyshawn Davis. So live up to what you said, just like everybody else should, you know. But that's all. Have a good day, everyone.